Half 2-2. Oh, good cue. Listen to that great horse. It's spring racing carnival time. Caulfield Cup this Saturday, October 17. Melbourne Cup in a few weeks' time. I can't believe we've already got to Melbourne Cup time almost. I'm not a great gambler. I will throw a bet or two down on a Saturday afternoon, and I do enjoy the office suite. And I do spend too much money on Melbourne Cup. But I thought you might need a little help from someone who has made it his life purpose to pick winners, Melbourne Cup winners. In fact, it's his only focus at this time of the year, and he gets started on the day after the Melbourne Cup last year. Once that's run, he's often racing and thinking about who might run the following year and who might be a chance. As a matter of fact, he's picked 24 out of the past 27 races. His name is MelbourneCupMax, Max Hitchins. Welcome to the program once again, Maxie.
Hello, Chris Smith. It's fabulous to talk to you at this time of year.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I feel quite excited about some of what we're seeing in the Spring Carnival so far, but also this weekend will be an absolute cracker, won't it?
Absolutely. It's a wonderful, wonderful Caulfield Cup, and I was just looking at the field again, and there's many chances to see, to have a look at horses and how they're likely to shape up in the Melbourne Cup. It's fascinating because of that.
Would you regard this field as good as it's ever been in the Caulfield Cup?
Well, that's what judges far better than me have been saying. It's the best ever Caulfield Cup, and I think that's I can only agree with that. I think it's stunning. See, there's a horse I was looking at, Quest for More, and it's the first emergency in the Cup. So it's not even in the Cup at this stage, but it's 67-1, and it's placed at 12 out of its last races. It's run first or in a pace, and that's a pretty consistent horse.
No slouch there.
And it's not even in the race, and it's 67-1.
Extraordinary. Now, for those people who don't know too much about you, you have memorised the first, second and third place getters of the Melbourne Cup for the last 100 years, right?
Yeah, just for fun, yep.
Who came first, second and third in 1971? Was it Rain Lover?
71 was Silver Knight. Rain Lover was 68 and 69.
Right.
Silver Knight, Igloo and Tails was 71.
Tails, yes.
Yep, yeah. Now you're downgrading yourself. You backed, I remember well, Zazman. You remember Zazman?
The 100-to-1 shot Zazman, which came in third.
Your form is very good. I'm very impressed.
And a few of my dirty mates ended up taking about $10,000 on the trifecta, which I was very upset about. So just give people a little bit of an understanding of how you're able to choose 24 out of 27 wins in the Melbourne Cup.
Well, no, this is what I do. I break the field down from 24 horses. There are 24 runners, so I break the field down every year, and I work on it all year round and chase it all year round. And I bring it down, and it tells you all this on the site. And I look to bring it down to 6 horses, and I say one of these 6 horses I think will win the race. Then I break it down to 3. Then I break it down to 1. Now the system is being able to say one of these 6 horses will win the race. Has worked 24 out of 27 years. When I break it down to choosing my selection out of those 6 horses, I've gotten that right for 15 out of the 27 years. So it's a
great system.
Yeah, well, it's a fun thing. I don't regard it as it's not a money-making thing as far as I'm concerned. It's just absolute absolute fun. Brought about because my mother-in-law years ago, where used to always back the Melbourne Cup, and I said to her, how do you do that? And she said, it's very simple. I have a bet on every horse. And I thought, I wonder how many people there are out there like my mother-in-law that have a bet on every horse just for the sake of being able to say they back the winner of the Melbourne Cup.
I love people when they say, yeah, I've got the winner, fantastic. They only spent about $400 doing it.
Exactly.
Now,
so I thought, I'd break it down and there'd be a lot of people doing exactly that.
Now, in your Facebook in July, you wrote about a Japanese horse called Fame Game.
Fame Game, yep.
you watched Fame Game compete in Japan.
Yep.
And
in a race called the Tenno Show, which is one of their very, very big races.
And you think this Fame Game is hot property?
If you have a look at the video, which should be on our site at the present moment, or your listeners might want to do this, webmaster hopefully has got it up there, you'll see it's one of the best races I've ever watched. And a grey horse called Gold Ship, which is a legendary horse in Japan. It beat Fame Game by an absolute nostril, and it was the best finish I've ever seen in a race. That Fame Game won past the post. Fame Game won. Now, if the grey horse Gold Ship was in the Caulfield Cup or Melbourne Cup now, it would be by far the best horse that's ever been to the country, and it would be an absolute almost odds-on favourite, almost far-lap capabilities. So,
okay, but what we can put money on is Fame Game, because it's racing this Saturday, at odds of around about 10 to 1.
Yeah, but I'm not confident about it for the Caulfield Cup. I just want to watch it in the Caulfield Cup and see how it runs. If it does what I expect it to do and run a very good race, I think it's more of a 3,200 horse than a 2,400 metre horse.
Right.
But if it runs well in the Caulfield Cup, I think you're going to see an enormous amount of money go on it on the Melbourne Cup.
So what about sort of linking Fame Game, if you're that convinced, when it gets to the Melbourne Cup, linking Fame Game with the entire field in a Quinella?
Well, that's what I went to the TAB on Monday and said I want to do that, and the guy said to me, yeah, it's possible to do, but come back after Wednesday when the field is finalised, and you can do it then. I went back and I met, there was a young guy in the place who didn't understand much about the betting, and he told me I couldn't do it. So I'm now waiting for the guy to come back on in the tab to tell me that I can do it. But that's my thinking. I thought if you're linked, if you can... You know, for years we've always taken Caulfield Melbourne Cup doubles.
Yeah.
So that you could take the field with just Fame Game is probably a clever way to have a bet, because it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility that a 20, 30, 40 to 1 horse could win the Caulfield Cup. The field is such a good field.
Yeah. I like the 30 to 1 shots, as you know. Now, Cole has just phoned through. Cole, you want a question? You're going to put a question to Max. Go ahead.
Hey, Max. Has this horse you're speaking of, Fame Game, has it ever won over 3,200 metres or longer? And tell me what won the Melbourne Cup in 1919. I do know the answer.
Well, firstly, Artilleryman won the Melbourne Cup in 1919, and has it won over 3,200 metres? It's not only won over 3,200; it's won over 3,400 metres.
Thank you very much.
So that, and again, you have a look at the video I'm talking about. It's on pickthecupwinner.com.au. That's our website.
Pickthecupwinner.com.au.
Yeah, hopefully the webmaster's got it up there now, and you have a look at it. And if you're not as impressed as I am, I'll be amazed, Cole.
You're going to put some money aside, Cole?
Oh, yes, my word.
If it's won at 3,400 metres, what more convincing do you need? Thank you, Cole.
And see how it goes on Saturday. Let's see if, remembering it's come from Japan, I'm very impressed with the way Japanese look after their horses and train them.
All right, if we want to throw around $20 on the Caulfield Cup on the weekend, what are your thoughts?
Oh, mate, too hard.
Too hard?
Just too hard, yeah. That's why I thought, well, I'd rather, if it is possible, and I'm still chasing that up, I'd rather put the $20 on the field, and you used to get a percentage. You know, you'd get 2% or 1% or whatever, depending how much you put on of the winnings. That's why I thought the best way would be to take a $20 on the field, all into Fame Game. That'd be my way of trying to do it.
All into Fame Game. All right. all roads lead to Fame Game in this spring carnival,
Well,
Max.
we'll talk after the Caulfield Cup if you so desire, Chris. But let's have a really good look and see how Fame Game goes in the Caulfield Cup, and then we'll think about how we go on the Melbourne Cup.
All right. Now, Les is another listener who has been watching Fame Game closely. Is that right, Les?
Sure have, Chris.
And?
Yeah, I've been tipping this. I tipped Delta Blue and Pop Rock in the Melbourne Cup in 2006.
Well done.
They're a faster class of stayer than we've got. Now, this Fame Game, if you watch the Tenno show, as Max said, TENNOSHO 2015 in figures, this goal ship is an absolute legend over there.
Absolutely, you're totally right.
He was last all the way. The jockey arrogantly went from last and made a run 6 furlongs out, about 4 wide. Went around them, hit the front in the straight. Now, Fame Game was about 10th with about 170 metres to go.
And about 10 horses all blocking it.
Yeah, all round him. And he pushed out to about 2 off the outside. Took about 50 yards to get into his speed and absolutely flew the last 50 yards and almost got Gold Ship, which the bloke would have been lynched if he'd got beat on Gold Ship. But they run years ago, Deep Impact, as Max would know, was a world champion horse that year. Now they run about 3:14.7 over there for the 2 miles. It's a faster class race. Our record is 3:16.7, held by Kingston Rule.
Kingston Rule, 1990.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Les. Well, I've got to leave it there because I've got to get to a break. But I tell you what, Max, you've got some Fame Game followers here. Sandra has just phoned in. Sandra, Fame Game.
Hello, Chris.
Hi.
I've had Fame Game on my fridge since the 10th of the 8th to win the Melbourne Cup.
Why since the 10th of the 8th, after that race?
I heard a race. I heard that he was a good horse in China. Is it China that he comes from?
No, Japan.
Yep.
Japan, sorry.
Yeah.
And the race was on the 3rd of May.
Yeah, and I wrote it down on the fridge and just kept it. And as I'm listening to your show, I just ran out to check what it was.
Well, start collecting your pennies, Sandra. Get ready for the first week in November. Thank you, Sandra.
Look at Caulfield Cup first and see how it runs, and hopefully if it's travelled well and it runs very well there, then get serious about the Melbourne Cup.
We'll catch up between the Caulfield and the Melbourne Cups. Max, thank you very much for your time.
Great idea, Chris. Okay, mate.
Fantastic. Melbourne Cup Max. There you go. So if you are thinking about all of this and if you want to follow what Max is doing and some of his clips, the one that he's got on Fame Game, pickthecupwinner.com.au.